Have you ever had to sell tools to pay bills? I am at the stage of unemployment where I might need to decide which tools to keep and which to sell, partially because a lack of funds and partially because I'm downsizing my living situation. That is super real, man. That is tough. Selling tools is, I have sold tools to make the rent. Absolutely. I've definitely, that was back in like 1993 or 4, really early. Having to downsize for financial reasons and for living situation reasons. The nice thing about the living situation reason is that it's very plausible that a more desktop version of the tools you have to sell exist, and those are constantly getting better and better and better. The desktop tool situation in the world right now is really good compared to what it was like 10 or 15 years ago. When you're thinking about which tools to sell, so in my shop, for the longest time, the most expensive tool I had was my welder, my Lincoln welder, and the little handheld Lincoln MIG welders. Back in the day, they were about $1,000. I think they're a little cheaper now, but back in the day, they were like $1,200, $1,500 to set yourself up with one of those and a bottle of gas and a little stand. And that one tool was so valuable to me, I could have sold almost all the rest of my tools and only held on to that one, and I could still make a living with that tool. So I would assess that. Power tools are often easy to buy. I would also look at the tools of yours that might be harder to replace. I mean, I'm thinking in a small machine shop, a little surface grinder, those tend to be rarer and harder to find. And if I had to downsize the shop, that would be a kind of tool I'd hold on to for a while. Oh, but I feel you, David Martin. I'm so sorry. If you do have to sell the tools to pay the bills, I'll remind you that Facebook Marketplace is terrific for finding when it's time to go get those tools again. Also, Goodwill has an auction site. Goodwill has an auction site, shopgoodwill.com. That's spectacular for inexpensive. These are both places in which the higher end versions of stuff are going to have the lower margin in terms of their overall cost, and we're going to be easier to find. And Craigslist. I've found some spectacular things on Craigslist. I'm already trying to help take care of you on the other side of this financial housing issue. David Martin, I really feel you. I hope that some of what I've said has helped you prioritize what you've got to deal with. Brian Baker. I just moved to a new apartment and finally have an office for writing. I'm almost settled in and was wondering where you wrote "Every Tool's a Hammer," and if you wrote from an outline or did it by the seat of your pants. I wrote from an outline. And for a large portion of it, felt like I was writing by the seat of my pants. The publisher gave me a lot of support, but I will tell you, I don't do my best. I do so much of my computing in bed, but writing in bed is not ideal for me. This pose doesn't get me my best writing. This pose does. So my writing isn't location dependent, but it is posture dependent. I prefer to write literally sitting and addressing a table and a keyboard and writing. I touch type, the single greatest thing I got out of high school. Yeah, almost the single greatest thing I got out of high school, man. I wish you could experience the sound of 35 young people typing on 35 IBM Ball Selectrics as they're all going grsh, 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 with every key smash. And the IBM Selectric sound is like one of the great mechanical sounds ever. And If you want fun, go look up how the IBM Selectric did its typing. It's an unbelievable bit of mechanical genius because all the characters of an IBM Selectric are arrayed around a ball that you clip in, and when you push a key, this basically mechanical computer, there's no integrated circuit in an IBM Selectric. It is a fully mechanized, like Charles Babbage level computer. Okay, not quite, but you see what I mean. Will then help that ball reach the latitude and longitude it needs for striking the correct character onto the page. What were we talking about? Indiana John wants to know, speaking of the pantograph mill, am I considering building a rolling attachment for my pantograph that would allow me to do etching onto a curved surface? Yes. In fact, Alexander, so my pantograph mill is an Alexander mill, and it is a knockoff of the Deckel GK12. I think it's an Alexander 1B. And they had a roll attachment. They're just impossible to find. So I may have to make one. I did do, I just did the dial for, I did a little etched dial where I had to etch the numbers into a tiny, like 3/4 inch wide dial. And for that, I actually chucked a rotary table onto it and put it on an angle so I could etch flat, and it worked beautifully. So, yeah, Indiana John, I'm absolutely wanting to make more types of attachments for that to use it. Thank you for watching. I wanted to talk to you about Tested membership. The Tested members are a key community that we find really, really remarkable. That's very separate from Tested and from YouTube. The Tested members, they buy each other memberships during our live streams. So if you're wondering whether to become a member, watch one of our live streams and someone may just give you one. It is hard to overestimate how much the Tested members actually make possible on this channel. They give us a lot of wiggle room. They give us a huge amount of feedback.
That's a member right now.
Thank you so much for enjoying your membership. Description for everything you need to know. And for all the members out there, thank you, thank you, thank you.